because he was just talking about, we were talking Patriots and Browns. Let's go right to that. I think that makes the most sense, just diving in there right away.
And you've got 3 plays that you really want to.
I think you know what? I think we're ended up talking about 4 plays because we might as well explain all 3 turnovers that happened right in a row by the Cleveland Browns, and then really what I thought was the game. Probably the next game-changing play of the football game is that long screen pass. The game was 17-10, third quarter. Cleveland had kind of got back to the momentum of the game and settled in, and then that screen pass happened, and they never had control again. And those are the ones I'd like to talk about for
Let's
sure.
hit that one last after we hit the 3 Cleveland turnovers. So let's begin with the Nick Chubb long run, 44-yard run, incredible play to strip him down near the goal line.
Yeah, well, and I think the big thing there, so
Cleveland was trailing 10-0.
10-0, and they're going to go toss right, and I believe it was shotgun. Chubb's to the right of the Baker Mayfield. They got the bunch that you were just talking about, the Saints being in so much, and they run 98 bunch crunch. Because why? Because we see New England, they got people standing up, all these different guys in between the tackles. I don't know who's coming or who's dropping, so let's just block them all down and toss it outside and let our stud running back make something happen once he gets out on the edge. Well, he does. He makes something happen out on the edge. They kind of stretch it out to the right because of the toss. Danny Shelton it's his gap ultimately that gets exposed, but his gap has now moved 6 or 7 yards to the left, and he can't quite get there, and I don't expect him to always. He's 350 pounds, and he only gets an arm on him. Nick Chubb breaks through the arm tackle, makes a move on, I think it was Dante Hightower to make him miss on an arm tackle, and then turns on the afterburners. And the big thing is, and more than anything, the star of the play is the guy who stripped him, Jonathan Jones. And why he's a star is not because of the strip, but because of the hustle. So when Nick Chubb breaks that second tackle of Dante Hightower, the Wyatt Teller, number 77, I think he's the right guard. I can't even remember right now. It doesn't matter. He knocks Jonathan Jones to the ground. Jones is on the ground, and Chubb is 10 yards down the field and about to turn on the afterburners going, I can take this to his house. Jonathan Jones pops up, and he flies down the field in pursuit, and Nick Chubb just kind of loses awareness of, just who's around me. I think he's just going, I'm going to run hard and just till its end. No, look around, brace yourself for something that happens. But either way, he doesn't do that. Jonathan Jones strips the ball, and that was a huge chance for Cleveland to get back into the ball game. At the very least, it's going to be 10-3 after that drive. Maybe we get to 10-7, right? They're thinking. So, yes, but at the very least, it's going to be 10-3 and calm things down a little bit. But instead, it's turnover, Patriots ball, and all the momentum's on their side, and here we go.
So many dozens of plays like that throughout the last 15 years with the Patriots, and people reference, it's the details, and they're so well coached, and they hustle.
Or it's luck. It's luck. My ass is luck.
So you've been in the building. Is this taught via film, like once a week? Do they show these hustle kind of plays to everybody? This is what we want to do. Is it practice on the practice field? Get up from getting knocked down, sprint 30 yards downfield, and strip it? How much of that is something that they've been shown on film and practiced throughout the week?
Well, that's the beauty of them. It's never those little details that get lost through most teams in football as the season goes along. It's week 15. We don't talk about that anymore. We're in the grind of the season. New England never gets away from it. So, first off, hustling. If you don't hustle, you're going to the bench. He doesn't care, Bill.
Do they show examples from other teams?
Well, he'll show more examples if you're the one if you're loafing in practice, or he'll get called out. Jamie Collins got traded to the Browns because he stopped setting the edge in the run game, and Bill was like, no, that's the number one rule of the defense. You broke it 5 times in 3 weeks. He was like, fucking had it with you. You're out of here. A lot along he was asking for money. That's the way they are. But the other thing is, and I've never seen anything like this either, they work on ball protection and stripping the ball twice a week. it's like one of the first periods of practice where, oh, here's the offensive guys. They're holding the ball. And other offensive guys are kind of like jogging along next to you. And, they want you to keep punching it different ways so you can get used to it. And, holding the ball properly is still being talked about in week 10. Like, this is how you hold the ball. This is where your fingers go around the ball. All right, let's go. The defenses on the other field, they're working on how to strip the ball and the proper ways to do that. So it is not luck. It's just part of their DNA. And that's why they're amazing.
Another turnover, also trailing 10-0. The Browns were Baker Mayfield's shovel pass that was intercepted.
Yeah, right. So they get a stop after the fumble. They get the ball back. Disaster. So this is the third fumble, and we'll go back. I want to go back to the first fumble, too. We're going to go back to that in a second. So this is the third fumble of 3 plays in a row, okay? And they're trying to run like, basically, they want to give the ball to Jarvis Landry, who's basically on a wing on the left, like a yard outside the left tackle, okay? And they want to fake the Chubb, pitch it forward to Jarvis Landry, and there's a pulling tackle in front of him, and he's going to follow him up there like it's a guard or tackle pull play that the running back gets. But it's a creative way to kind of stress the linebackers and do that. The problem has nothing to do with Baker Mayfield or Jarvis Landry. The problem strictly here goes to the offensive line, okay? Left guard, Joel Bentonio, and the left tackle, McCray, okay, they need to make a switch call in this. And so let me paint a picture for everybody. Baker Mayfield's in the shotgun, and Nick Chubb is next to him. And now you got Joel Bentonio at left guard, McCray at left tackle, and Lawrence Guy is on the left edge of the tackle, on the left edge, so his outside shoulder. He's almost splitting the difference between the tackle and Jarvis Landry. And he's going to pull. You're going to pull the guy who's blocking the guy who's a foot away from the guy you're going to give to the ball?
Doesn't seem right.
Doesn't seem right. Now, so this is where you make the switch call. There's nobody over Joel Bentonio. Hey, McCray, switch, or whatever their code word is. I don't know, vice versa. Who the hell knows? But you make the switch call because Bentonio has no threat over him, so he's free to pull. Let him be the puller. Let McCray make the block on the guy that's there basically right in front of him, like I said, shaded just straightly, a little bit on the outside, to cause the stop disaster.
Yeah.
So I don't know, again, and I don't know these things because I'm not in the meeting. I would think there's a call that has to be made by the O-line.
Well, everyone has.
Everyone has that, you would think. Unless maybe on this play, this was just block it how you see it.
Yeah.
But to me, if it was block it how you see it, that's stupid. And then I'd go to the coaching staff and go, man, you're asking Joel Bentonio to make a back block on a guy that's like 4 yards away.
Yeah.
And he's 310 pounds and pretty athletic. Like, oh, yeah, I'll just stop him in his tracks, coach. He won't go anywhere. No problem. So that just wasn't realistic to ask. And I got to think that the play was made to have communication there up front. And Lawrence Guy just went, whoa, the guy in front of me is leaving. I'm just going to keep running upfield. And, oh, wait, the guy that they're tossing the ball there is now I'm running into him. And disaster happens, and
I was
17-0.
Right, yeah. I was going to ask you if you had a bigger problem with the way Baker Mayfield executed the play or with the play call.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it was with the design of the play up front, not the coach.
No.
Not the quarterback.
I get the play, and Baker Mayfield these are plays where he's not even supposed to worry about that. I mean, he's not even thinking like, oh, this is a bang, bang. I get the snap. It's like hot potato.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Go.
Yeah.
So he's not like sitting there thinking like, I got to read something or do any of that. You know what I mean?
Pass, it's not like you make a decision.
Yes. You worked it all week in practice and training camp. You've done it. You get it. You pitch it. Like you were supposed to block it, the right way here, and they didn't do that. And so that was stupid. And then I just want to get back to the first fumble to start the game. That gets returned for a touchdown, and they're down 7-0 because of this. I mean, so the first fumble, it's Chubb, again, has the ball. He's going right. He's got the left guard, Joel Bentonio, pulling to the right. Okay, he's going to kick out Kyle Van Noy. There's a hole there. But this is where Kyle Van Noy and these Patriot linebackers are good. Most teams, when they would see that, the linebacker would brace himself and be like, all right, I'm just going to take him on, and we'll see if I can stop him right there. Well, New England, and I don't know what their phrase is there on the defensive side of the ball, but like Tampa would have been like, shoot your gun. Like you see the guy coming, don't just sit there and like wait for him to block you. Attack him. And that's what Van Noy did to cause the first fumble. He really just goes, oh, I'm vulnerable here. They're coming to kick me out, and there's going to be a hole inside of me if I get kicked out. So when he saw the design of the play, he attacked the pulling guard. And he ran right at him and said, I'm going to knock your knees out. And he knocked his knees out, and his feet flipped up in the air, and it kicked the ball out of Nick Chubb's hand. And then Dante Hightower picks it up and touchdown, and the ghosts are back, and it's, you're haunted in New England, which you are. You better watch out playing those fuckers up there. They're going to get all the breaks because they're good and they're smart, and those fans are brutal, and you're in your head before the game even starts up there.
Right.
And that's why it's awesome to be up there and play there. But, yeah, that play was made by Kyle Van Noy, one of the MVPs of that team this year. Him, Jamie Collins, Stephon Gilmore, they've just stood out above the rest, let alone a lot of other good players. But, as you know, really hard to beat New England when you turn the ball over 3 consecutive plays and you're down 17-0.
Aside from the turnovers. You broke those down well.
Right.
What'd you think of Baker and the Browns offense?
Underwhelming. So I'm a little disappointed, and I'm going to go back to a little bit with what Odell Beckham Jr. said a little. All right. I think he thought they were going to attack him a little bit. I think they relied on our scheme will get people open. And I think it could have been a game one of, man, we got one-on-one. It's Jarvis versus J.C. Jackson, and it's Odell versus Gilmore. Let's just work the matchup a little bit. Let's not always try to design the perfect play. Not against New England. They're going to stop a lot of your plays that you really like to do. That's what they're genius at.
Right.
But, Baker, it's still not smooth. It's still some off-target passes. It's still some jumpiness in the pocket. But really, other than those 3 plays, I just like to clarify this because I'm going to talk a little bit about the Pats. The Browns belong on the field with them. They were not outclassed. I wasn't oh, wow, they're getting killed here. No, I would tell you they won most of the battles.
They hung in there.
They hung in there. If I had to grade the game, I would probably tell you that Cleveland won more plays than New England.
Then how come they only had 13 points?
Yeah, well, because
I know the turnovers.
The turnovers were huge.
Besides
definitely.
Those 3.
Yeah, I just think it was because of their down 17-0. They weren't able to kind of stay with the run game. They had to do some more drop-back pass and hold the ball and do things like that. Protection failed, things like that. And they're playing a good defense. Right. I mean, that was a game, if they were going to win it, it was going to be 20-17. That was the kind of game it was going to be. So I didn't expect them to go in there and, win a game 30-27 against New England.
Right.
So we were going to lose some plays. But, yeah, hey, Odell, he dropped, I think, I want to say 2 passes where I go, hey, they were tough, but you're Odell Beckham Jr. Got to catch it. I don't know what else you want me to say. And I also want to look at Baker and go, man, there's a few plays guys are open, or you just got to throw a better ball. All of that. But more than anything, it's just mistakes on both sides of the ball more than anything. And then if we go over to the defensive side of the ball, let's get to that screenplay with James White.
I mean, to your point, to your many points, it was a pretty
They were down 17-0. Now it's 17-10.
So it's 17-10.
Right.
About halfway through the third quarter.
Yep.
They have the Patriots backed up in a 3rd down and 10.
Yes.
How did they get so successful on that screen pass where it went for?
Right.
Let's see.
60, was it? Or what
59
was it?
yards.
59 yards.
59 yards.
Yeah.
What happened on that play?
All right. And this is a little like we talked about with.
It's literally you've got them where you want them.
You got them where you want them. The momentum's on their side. They're kind of whooping them up front.
Yeah.
Brady knows he's getting whooped up front, so he's conscious of I got to get the ball out of my hand, because he doesn't want to get sack fumbled or anything like that. Hey, the Patriots O-line it's not special this year, as we all know. They're struggling. And there's a lot of plays, man, they get their ass whooped. I mean, I don't know any other way to say it. What saves them more times than not is they run plays into the correct looks, and they're schematically taught the right way. And even when they kind of lose their battles one-on-one up front, because it's the right play against the right defense and all of those things, it helps. But to get back to the point, sorry.
They were good enough on one play, and I'll let you get to this point. On one of Edelman's touchdown receptions, I think it was his second.
Right.
He ran an under. He's not open in the initial window.
Right.
He keeps going, not open there.
Yeah.
And was able to break it back the other way, improvising. The O-line was good enough, and Brady was nimble enough on that play.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was a 3-man rush, I believe, too. So
you ought to be able to block through.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You should. But yes, I hear you. And again, it's the O-line is so well taught there. It's just the first year they don't have really good talent up there.
Right.
And it's going to be something interesting to watch. But on that specific play, it's 3rd and 10, And hey, when you play New England, just like we were talking about the Saints, the you plays are the number one things you got to worry about in the game. Because like as Dad was saying, like the first drive of the game, I mean, it's just one game plan. Oh my gosh, they got him. Oh, it's a screen here. It's a screen there. It's, it's this perfect run against this defense. It's all these type of things that get them going, and that's what good offenses do. That's what Shanahan does, and Peyton and McVay. They all do that kind of stuff. But so now it's 3rd and 10, like we're talking about, and it's going to be a 3-man rush once again. Okay, so 3 down linemen. And there's 2 linebackers, or no, there's 1 linebacker, Schobert, and then not Tahir Whitehead, the other Whitehead, 35. Hold on, I got to figure out his name. I'm sorry, I got too many names in my head. Yep, I got it. It's 39. He's the guy that got cut by the Packers last year. White hair, Whitehead.
Numbers.
Either way, he's 35, okay, and he's their 3rd safety. He's down over the guard, Jermaine Whitehead. Thank you very much, Pete D. And they're standing right over the guards, like we might blitz, right? So they're playing man-to-man. They're going to play robber coverage. One safety's going to go deep. The other one's going to play the middle of the field to stop Julian Edelman over the middle or whoever it is, because New England loves to attack that part of the field. And New England calls a screen. So now here's James White, who sneaks out of the backfield to the right. Well, the guy, he comes across. He's on the left of Brady and comes across Brady to go there. Well, Schobert's got him man-to-man. But because he's up there at the line of scrimmage, he gets caught up in the wash. And by the time he gets over there, it's too late. And they already got blockers in front of him. And now the ball is coming to White, and the linemen are there.
Yeah.
And now he sees it. He's like, oh, crap, they got it. And he's running. But by the time he realizes James White's already caught the ball now, and there's somebody on him, and now it's him one-on-one with one guy. He makes a miss, and he cuts it back across the field, and that's that.
So it's basically one player.
On that play, it's 1 player. They called the right play against the right defense. Now, and that's where New England's master. Now, there was 2 plays called because Brady gave the old, he pointed to his head, kill, kill, kill. So they had something else called, and then when he realized, ooh, it's this defense, Josh told me all week to kill it to this play. And he got to the right play, of course. They executed the right way and really ultimately ended up being the backbreaker because, like you said, a few plays later is when Brady scrambles and throws a touchdown pass to Julian Edelman and makes it 24-10. And momentum was never captured on that side of the ball by the Browns again.
So on a 3rd and long situation against this version of the Patriots, what they're doing right now, what's the best call that Cleveland could have made?
Yeah, well, I think I have actually not a lot of issues with the call they made. My big thing would be you're playing a team that's got creative screen game to where, in those instances, you got to be like, I would want space on my linebackers. Let your linebackers stand in the middle of the field at their normal spot to maybe even take away Brady's thoughts of throwing the ball down the middle if they had something like that. But then it does give them room to react. And I know what they're trying to do there. Steve Wilks, the D coordinator of the Browns, he's trying to stress the protection out to help them rush. He's trying to make the guards stay home to where Myles Garrett doesn't get help coming off the edge and he can just get a one-on-one rush or whatever it may be. But within doing that, yes, they called the right play, maybe having a feeling through their game plan that, when they mug these guys, we can screw them here and kind of pin them inside to where they can't get on the edge to stop our running back. That's how brilliant New England is, and that's kind of what happened there. So I have no problem. Really, the game plan overall by Cleveland on the defensive side of the ball, that was phenomenal. I mean, I really did. They did about as good as they can do. Their front four did great in the run. They hung in there. They made Brady and the pass game work. You
didn't know the scoreboard of this game?
I know.
Listen to the
I know.
8, 10, 12 minutes we're talking about.
Yeah, right.
You think it was a 1-point game or Cleveland won?
Well, I mean, ultimately it probably should have been that type of game. I mean, hey, the Pats had 318 yards of total offense. The Cleveland Browns had 310. The Pats averaged 4.8 yards per play. The Browns averaged 5.3. The Browns ran for 159 yards. The Patriots ran for 79. But it's the turnovers and then getting in the hole is exactly the way the Patriots. Oh gosh, you're in the hole 17. Right. Have you seen our secondary? You're going to try to throw it every play now? Yeah. Oh yeah, good luck. Okay. And that's what leads to 159 yards of total pass plays. So they never really got to assert themselves and put New England in a pressure situation where I thought like their offense could maybe give New England's defense some issues because you do have to be scared of playing Odell and Jarvis man-to-man too much and those things. And early on, they didn't play a ton of man-to-man. But then when they got in the flow of the game, and I think they get a feel for, okay, I think the you play period of the game is over, where we've seen their game plan specials here. They're getting back to the meat and potatoes. You know, Bill's got them coached up on that stuff, and they were all over it. Yeah,
I think it's a great way to put a personal, recent face on. We hear details, and they're so well coached. 4 plays.
Yeah.
4 plays, the difference between these two teams. It ended up being a 2-touchdown difference. One linebacker not making a play on the screen.
Exactly.
One defensive back chasing the guy down, causing the fumble.
Right. It's football. It's the NFL.
It was that close.
It is. It's that close. And really, you can go. We can go to. The Browns are going to look back at their year, because they're probably not going to the playoffs now, and they're going to look at the Seahawks and go, man, we really controlled that game, and there's 3 plays that we screwed up in that game. You know, they're going to look at, you know, a number of games. You know, the Rams game at the end, they screwed up a bunch of stuff there. So their youngness is showing, their immaturity, all the things we wondered if they could gel together. Plus, they have a coach that's in the same boat with them.
Right.
And you know that doesn't help the situation out either.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.